All right, for the latest on the talks then, we're joined by correspondent Stuart Smith, who is in Moscow for us. Good afternoon to you, Stuart. Let's get an update on these particular talks, these negotiations. What I did find quite unsettling and perhaps unnerving or eerie was the fact that it's being reported that Ukrainian officials are warning negotiators not to have anything to drink, not to have anything to eat, not to touch tables. I mean, how much of this do you know?
Yeah, this came after allegations from the Ukrainian side that some of its diplomats and even the famous oligarch Roman Abramovich had suffered from a chemical attack while undertaking negotiations, suffering from skin pain, temporary blindness, and then requiring hospital treatment because of what appeared to be a chemical attack. There was no allegation as to who it may have been, and the Kremlin has firmly denied it has anything to do with Russia, saying that this is part of an information war. But that was one of the concerns about the Ukrainian side, is if this is true, could it affect more negotiators? Now, there have been a lot of contrasting opinions here, even from the United States, with one official saying that they doubt the reports of a chemical attack are true, and also some Ukrainian officials saying it didn't happen. So certainly mixed messaging and confusion, but what's clear is Russia says it has nothing to do with it, and Roman Abramovich again and the negotiators appeared at the talks again today in Turkey. And so if there were any symptoms, and if this did take place, the negotiators seem to be long-term, they seem to be okay.
Yeah, but you know, if there's no trust, I mean, if they can't even trust that they're safe to have something to drink, for example, at these negotiations, what more can we then say about the negotiations themselves, about, you know, peace talks and perhaps getting to some sort of a truce?
Yeah, well, they have concluded now with what the Russian side says was a constructive meeting, and there were more specific proposals than we've seen before that Ukraine and Russia seem to have agreed on. Discussion now amongst the Russian negotiating team of the potential for foreign ministers to meet and even presidents to meet if further negotiations go well. They have been suspended, and there will be no further day of negotiations tomorrow, as had been thought might happen. It seems they've got this wrapped up now, with an agreement by Ukraine to again try and settle some kind of sustainable status for its national security. Ukraine is proposing, for example, it could withdraw from NATO, withdraw the request to join NATO from its constitution, which is currently what's keeping it wanting to engage with the military alliance, but instead it would need security guarantees from other countries, perhaps like Turkey itself or the US and the United Kingdom, and they would be in effect guaranteeing Ukraine's security and therefore allowing Ukraine to be some kind of neutral country, which is what Russia has been asking for this whole time. So progress, it seems, in that direction. Also the issue of Donbass and Crimea. On Donbass, that would be discussed at the presidential level if these talks ever get to the point where Russian President Vladimir Putin and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky meet. And on the issue of Crimea, well, that would be discussed, continue to be discussed over the next 15 years, a draft Ukrainian document suggests. So now very detailed proposals from the Ukrainian side on what exactly could be an acceptable solution, and Russia says it's now going to take those proposals back to the president for a look at what's being suggested. But the United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken does have a warning. He says the US judges Russia on what it does, not what it says, and he says that he's seen no change in the position in the Russian negotiating side. So although we do seem to have progress, the US is not getting overexcited about this final round of talks that's taken place on Tuesday.
All right, thanks very much for that update, and we'll certainly be catching up with you at a later stage. Then correspondent Stuart Smith, who's in Moscow for us on the latest with the talks that are being held in Istanbul between Russia and Ukraine. Of course, everyone wanting to know how close we are to hearing about the end of this war.